Welcome, everybody. We're going to let a few more folks come in, and I've finally taken some time to eat while we're meeting, so feel free to snack or beverage as you need to.
Mr. Cobb, how you doing tonight, sir?
Very good.
Good, good. That's good to hear. I'm Marshall Warren. I'm with Phi Beta Sigma, the Gamma Theta Sigma chapter here.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
We're gonna take time tonight for everybody to introduce themselves and
Okay.
tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Since
Great.
my attempt to share a Google Sheet has not been terribly effective.
I understand. Yeah, I saw it. I see my name's on there. I'll try to get. I'm kind of out and about now, so I'm just kind of listening. I'll introduce myself. I try to get my camera turned on in a little bit, but yeah, I'll go ahead and add my organization on as well. We unfortunately we don't have our 501c certification, but we're looking to partner up with somebody possibly.
Right.
And so we've got somebody we can partner up with because we participated last year. So
yeah, no, that's great.
Participating this year. So yeah, you guys are doing great work. We look forward to being a part of it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining tonight. Last week after our webinar introducing these two grant opportunities, there were two requests made. One was to create a shared sheet that we could add organizational information on, and I set that up, and I thought I had removed or made it accessible to anyone who used it, and that's clearly not the case. Some of you, asked for access, and I gave that as those came through, and then I think some of you, for different reasons, weren't able to add information. So I'm going to try and figure out a different way to do that. But in the interim, what I'd like to suggest is one of two things. One of you actually texted me information that could be inputted in that document, which I will do. If you want to put the information about your organization in the chat, you can do that, and I'll make sure it's loaded onto the Google Sheet. Or if you want to email it to me, and I'll put my email in the chat, we'll make sure that it gets added. We just want to try and capture as much information about each of our organizations, whether you're a 501c3 or not, so that we can each see and know what the other is doing in terms of sharing our resources. So I'm going to put in my email address, and feel free to send, and it doesn't have to be like incomplete sentences or anything. We just want to know what programs you offer, and to help us determine kind of what categories of services are available. So we've got a great turnout tonight. Thank you all. The intention of this is to really provide an opportunity to discuss together ideas around gun violence reduction in our community, for mini grants as well as for the violence interruption proposals, and then to think about this kind of continuum of care or continuum of opportunities and strategies we're creating related to prevention, intervention, and response. And we're wanting to do this in a way that reaches not only children and youth, but young adults, their parents and families, and the community, because we want this to be really comprehensive. And the only way it's going to be truly effective is if the community as a whole is supporting this effort in the unique ways that each of us can do that. So I really commend all of you for what you're doing already. And our intention isn't to take the place of what you're doing. Our intention as a commission is to support what you're doing and find ways we can increase and empower you further in what you're doing and in ways that we can collaborate together. So I'm going to just go kind of across my screen here and ask each of you to just introduce yourself briefly and tell a little bit about if you currently have a program that's doing some work related to violence reduction in the community, to just share that. And then we'll jump into the idea sharing and collaborative phase of the evening. So right next to me on the screen is, and I apologize in advance if I don't get names exactly right, but Lene, is that right?
Yeah, you did
All right.
good.
Lene, introduce yourself, please.
All right, so my name is Lene Clegg, and I'm the owner of Culture Ethnic Shop. And I would like to partner with a nonprofit organization in order to be able to carry out the entrepreneurship program that I've been doing, but not an official program under a title or anything like that. I've just been working with individuals who've had products and want to start businesses and just helping them along the lines of doing that. So it's just a few things that I want to focus on with helping is if somebody wants to open a store, if somebody has a product that they want to be able to sell and develop, our store will be able to be a test market as well as help with product development. And yeah, so those are the main two things, but there's a lot of other things that will go in that program to help with the gun violence interruption.
Thank you, Lene. That's great. Do you have a particular age group, or are you open to working with youth and young adults? And
yeah, I'm totally open.
Okay.
Whatever would work best with the organization that I partner with.
Great. Well, I know that one of the many grants last year was through, and I'm Kevin McNeil, who works, he's pastor at Bethany Christian, but he also works with the Youth Build program at Goodwill. And he has a youth entrepreneur program that he started. It's got a separate 501c3, but okay. I wanted you to know about that because that might be a good link. And tonight, as we hear from each other, as you hear from somebody that you go, oh, well, I could be a partner in that. That's part of the intention for tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to thank you, Lene. I'm going to slide right next door to Sean Hunter. Welcome, Sean.
How you all doing? Can you see me?
Good.
Can you hear me? Okay, my name is Sean Hunter. I'm the founder, president of the Peacemakers here in Roanoke, Virginia. And the reason that we came about in 2016 was due to the escalating gun violence that was taking place, particularly in African-American neighborhoods. So we came together as a community group to do community patrol, meaning that we get out in the community, the way that you all see those signs that said community watch area, we actually go and do foot patrol, and all of us have the same uniforms, or just to show the community that somebody is out there for their eyes and ears in that aspect, to try to keep the community rid of any kind of violence or theft or anything of that nature. So anyway, we've been in existence since 2016. And since the pandemic, everybody, I guess, slowed down, and so did we. So we went under. And when things started opening back up, it seemed like the violence escalated to an extent like never before. And and so people were calling me and asking me, "Oh, were we still active and whatnot?" And I told them that we were. And so we've done basically we have totally rebuilt the Peacemakers, and we welcome everyone. We offer conflict resolution training. self-defense, basic first aid, and we have a curriculum that we go by. We try to live a structured and disciplined lifestyle, and the organization is structured around being disciplined. And so we welcome the community, and we are willing to work with anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Really appreciate you being here and the work that you've done through these years. Next, we're going to go to Breon Fraction.
Hey, Joe, thank you. And hello to everyone. I'm kind of tired today. I've been working all day. But my name is Breon Fraction. I previously worked with state probation and parole, training and consulting on mental health and substance abuse, and also communication. But recently, for about 2 months now, I've been working with youth advocate programs, which is a national, well, international organization. But I'm the director here in Roanoke and also the New River Valley. And we provide all types of violence prevention, intervention services, including violence interruption, mentoring, advocacy, training and consultation. Also behavioral health services for foster care and a number of other things that we do. And my purpose here tonight is truly to hear from some people who are doing the work out in the community. We have opportunities where we pay mentors and advocates and folks who are out there doing the work. We bring them in and we train them, and we pay them as credible messengers to help them out with their work. So again, I'm here to find out who's in the community doing the work, and really wanting to provide a opportunity for them to learn more about YAP, to see if some of what they're doing now that we can support it.
Thank you, Breon. And you just reminded me that I imagine all of us have been going at it full steam today. So I just want to say again how much I appreciate you taking the extra time tonight. Today's been one of those days for me too. And I actually find this very energizing to just hear from you all and be with you all. So thank you for taking the extra time to be here tonight. Marshall.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Marshall Warren, and I'm born and raised here. As far as my work, I work with the Roanoke District Office for the Division of Child Support Enforcement. The organization that I'm affiliated with is Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the Gamma Theta Sigma chapter located here in Roanoke, Virginia. Phi Beta Sigma, we're a worldwide fraternity. We have approximately over 120,000 members worldwide, and we have a strong network here on the state level as well, across the state and within the eastern region, which stretches from Virginia to include West Virginia all the way up to Maine. Last year, we were fortunate to partner with the organization and we hosted a anti-gun violence forum at Forest Park. It went pretty well, and so we're excited about partnering up with anyone to promote more anti-gun and gang violence programming here in our city.
Thank you, Marshall. And I have been so impressed in Roanoke with the number of really active and engaged fraternities and sororities. Just amazing work in this community. I've not seen it at this level in other communities. So I don't know what it is about Roanoke and fraternities and sororities, but y'all, you get it done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up is Ryan Bell.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Bell, and I got little Ryan Bell here with me, helping me out this evening. But I am the founder of Black Father Family, and it's an organization underneath the umbrella right now of the United Way Roanoke Valley. And we are in the process of standing up and implementing our flagship program focused on teen pregnancy prevention and intervention with the specific focus on fathers. We will be doing work with mothers as well. And right now we're actually looking to partner with organizations that have access to teen and young adult parents ages 16 to 24 years old, and also who have services that we can refer them out to along their parenting journey. The curriculum that we focus on deals with trauma resiliency, life skills, and has a really cool aspect of co-parenting attached to that curriculum as well. Specifically, what we are looking to partner with somebody on right now and are in need of is looking for an organization or an individual that we can partner on to assist us with our wraparound services with our teen and young adult parents. Somebody specifically focused on helping them move themselves to self-sustainability, whether that's around employment, education, transportation, different things of that nature. So excited to be here. A lot of what the work that we do in regards to violence interruption deals a lot with relationships and preventing relationship violence amongst teens and young adults. And so definitely interested in partnering, especially Miss Lene, the stuff you mentioned around entrepreneurship. I run into a lot of young ladies who are parents who are looking to get a foot ahead in the entrepreneur space. So excited to be here and looking forward to hear from everybody else as well.
Thank you for that, Ryan. You touched on a couple things that emerged from the recent assessment that we did on youth and gang violence in the community. One was just how critical the relationship-based work is, not only for the youth and young adults, but for their families, for parents. And then the second piece was the number of youth who identified youth violence in dating as an emerging concern. So thank you for bringing those both up. Next is a young lady that I get to work with on the Gun Violence Prevention Commission, Nicole Ross.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm going to try to be brief, but I'm actually, Joe, tonight I'm representing a few organizations. Let me start with saying, again, I'm Nicole Ross. I am the co-founder of YES, Youth Enrichment Services of Southwest Virginia. We operate a program out of Paradise Community Development Center where we have after school activities for young people, as well as mentoring. The Paradise Community Development Center is actually wanting to look and see how we expand services to the high school, middle and high schoolers, that we were looking at those after hours, things like that, weekends and after hours. And we would love to have some folks partner with us to bring services in that can allow us to be open, that not 24 hours, but a longer period of time, so we can serve the high school and middle school population on the weekends, so that we can give something for them to do that is, of course, positive in nature. I will say I'm speaking for Miss Sharnika Elliott tonight. She is ill, and she is with Noah Christian Academy and Noah Christian Community Center. They are a school, a Christian school, and she's looking at how she can partner. They do a lot of activities, outdoor activities and things like that, vocally, choir, performing arts, things of that nature. So she's looking at how she can partner. She will be hearing about this call. She wasn't able to join, but she asked on her behalf. Also, New Focus. Focus is another organization that I am partnered with. Their mindset is, again, like you, Miss Lene, and hey, Miss Lene, ain't seen you in a while, that around the mindset of entrepreneur services and teaching the entrepreneurial mindset. The other thing with the Paradise Community Development Center is going to be doing this summer that we want to get some partners and help with, we're doing this agricultural, we're partnered with Lick Run, and we are doing the gardening, and we're going to be teaching these young people, teenagers, employing them to work in the garden. So that's something that we're trying to get, that agricultural piece, youth work experience, after school, summer camp. So it's a lot of things going on, but definitely the entrepreneurial mindset and marketing is something that New Focus is looking to do, and partner with some of the other agencies to possibly provide some marketing experience for all those who need that help as far as the cohorts. I think I captured all that I was supposed to say tonight. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. That was great. And I'm glad you brought up the agricultural effort. One of the things that we got some funding for through the Gun Violence Intervention Program grant was an urban farm initiative, which could include community gardening. But the idea is teach, get youth and families reconnected with the earth, teach them how to grow produce, sell produce, so they're becoming entrepreneurs, but then healthy produce. So it's a way to address some of the food desert issues that we have in different parts of the city too.
Absolutely.
Next up is Greg Goodman. Greg, so glad you could join us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm Greg Goodman. I'm the Director of Community Support Services with the Housing Authority. It's good to be here, see a lot of faces that are doing some great work within the community. Really, I'm just here to be a support and kind of listen to what others have going on and how I may be able to partner with you, figure out what we can do to get some initiatives going. As far as with the Housing Authority, we are kicking off our Envision Center. Hopefully, we're looking at the end of April, so just about 2 months away. That's going to be a really nice area for the community in whole and our youth. We're working on building a youth garden there too as well. And we're actually working with Virginia Career Works, hopefully for some work experience that will allow them to get paid as well with that. And then I think Jamie Starkey's here as well. She's with the Family Services of Roanoke Valley. We've partnered with them on this, so we're looking at doing some things such as like music and art therapy, mental wellness tied in with that. We've also got a few other things that we may be tying in also with that. So we're really excited about that. I would encourage anyone that's interested, reach out to me. I'll be happy to give you a tour of the Envision Center and kind of show you what it's about. We'll have a large scale community room, a training lab room, a brand new state-of-the-art computer lab, individual offices, and this will all be over at the old Melrose Library that's right across from Lansdowne. So just looking forward to kicking that off and having a lot of programs and services running out of there, and of course continuing our services that we're doing with our residents.
You're muted, Joe.
What a blessing you all just received. What I said was, Greg, thank you for everything you're doing at the Housing Authority and in the different communities. We really appreciate it. All right, next, because she called me out, I don't know how, but her face just showed up. It jumped up like next in line. Jamie Starkey.
It's my magic powers I have.
And then I'll go to Anna Goltz because I was trying to say her name and I was muted. Anyway, go ahead, Jamie.
Annie has magic powers too. So I'm Jamie Starkey at Family Service of Roanoke Valley, and we do a lot of work with folks across the lifespan. We do mental health services for individuals as young as 18 months all the way to end of life. We have youth development programming that works with, I think we work in collaboration with a lot of you all with the same youth, but we have teen outreach program. We do some other programs called Positive Action with the younger kids, younger elementary school kids. We have a program called Project AIM that focuses on sort of identifying your future self, your future goals for middle schoolers, and really looks around some of those, what do I want to be when I grow up, and setting goals around that and identifying what the barriers may be. A lot of our programs are teen pregnancy prevention oriented as well, along with Ryan there. And then we are looking to implement some additional programming around intervention for young folks, potentially for young adults as well. So Family Service is a collaborative partner in the community and has been for a number of years. We're a 501c3, and we're happy to to be at the table and would love to hear what you all have in mind and see if there's ways that we can connect and support one another. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Jamie. Golly. All right, next I'll go to Anna since I called her before, but she didn't know that because I was muted.
I'm muted. Look at that. Did you mean me? I'm sorry. I had to step away to tend to bath time. For
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah.
Thank you. My name is Anna Goltz. Tonight I'm representing the rescue mission. I think a lot of folks in town know about the rescue mission. I think most commonly folks, of course, are familiar with our shelter, an emergency shelter. We also have the Way Forward is our substance abuse recovery program, which is a long-term residential program, the Fralin Free Clinic for the homeless. And my personal, I kind of have a little heart for entry, which is not necessarily for our homeless clients, but it's to help prevent homelessness. That's available every Saturday. Right now, our team has been looking at this grant opportunity, and we're trying to decide whether there's a good fit for us with prevention. Our current ideas relate to, I think, really relate deeper staff training for our staff who we have at the mission. We do see weapons come into shelter sometimes. So I think that for us, we are thinking about the opportunities maybe just de-escalation training, broadly speaking, for the staff to have in your back pocket at any moment in time. And I think that a number of folks have specific trauma-informed care training under their hat, but we probably have folks who could benefit from that. So that's kind of still in the ideation stage.
Thank you, Anna. You were kind of coming in and out, but I think I caught most of that. And I really appreciate the rescue mission being here tonight, because and really thinking through strategically how you can be part of this effort, because the intersections with our different folks in the community is really critical to the success of all of this. Let me jump over here to Tommy Page with New Focus Group.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tommy Page. As Jen said, New Focus Group. We've been back in Roanoke. I'm originally from Roanoke, but we've been back in Roanoke as a business for the past 9 years. The biggest portion of that is full service digital media, because we felt that with whatever effort that was going on, it just didn't really have a platform to really be seen from actual creators from the community. So it was something I was able to do in other cities that I've operated in, but being able to bring it home. And knowing that as one who grew up in Roanoke and Northwest, right there where the gun violence and everything has kind of been centralized for my entire life. I feel the fact that having alternatives was what kept me from it. Not that I didn't try it. I myself, want to feel like I had success. I too was enticed by the culture that was out there that was saying, okay, do this. But having alternatives and now being able to operate those alternatives, and that we have established our 501c nonprofit status, 501c3 nonprofit status for community initiatives, mostly directed in entrepreneurship training, but a holistic approach that goes after the whole family. But we have 10 direct that we've been operating with in a cohort that we believe that the one that begets 10 will beget 100. So we want to keep with that approach and be able to do our part down in Gainesboro with so many other great initiatives that we've been able to see by being down in Gainesboro that's happening, seeing so many of you on the call here. So it's just good to be a part of it and look forward to do what we can do to continue to curtail with alternatives in the community.
Thank you, Tommy. Jane Gabrielle.
Hi, everybody. My name's Jane Gabrielle. I am a writer, visual, and performing artist. I own and operate One World Face and Body Art, providing fake airbrush tattoos, henna, and face painting at events. I just finished my BFA in socially engaged art, so I am looking to partner with various nonprofits to assist in programming, art or music interaction, mural making, collaborative art. So I'm just here to say, write an artist into the work that you all are doing so that we can come and help with it. I've got lots of ideas about joining some international projects like the Singing Tree Mural Project. And I've got lots of ideas. So hopefully I can leave my name and number. And if anybody needs that kind of help, give me a holla.
Thank you, Jane. That's great. I think the artists in our community, we are really richly blessed with artists in our community, you among them. And the more we can engage our artists, the better. This has been declared in the city the Year of the Artist, and the Roanoke Arts Commission is bringing together any local artists who want to do that. And there are some grant opportunities through that source as well. So I'm so glad you're here tonight, Jane. Thank you. Catherine, you're up.
All right, I'm unmuted. Okay. So I'm with Groceries Not Guns, and we applied for a mini grant last time, and we're a partnership with the NAACP and also the Roanoke City Police Department. And what we did was that we exchanged grocery gift cards for guns. And so we had various levels depending on, the sort of dangerousness of the gun. We had different levels, the amounts that we were reimbursing. But we were able to give away $14,000 in grocery gift cards. So that was a great day. Lots of good community culture change around that. And I also want to shout out the rescue mission and also the Roanoke Housing Authority for helping us get out the word about our last event last summer. And we're looking to do another one. So one of the challenges we're facing right now is that the 501c3 that had been partnering with us had to abruptly stop. So we are without 501c3 partnership at this time, but we are, this was basically this development just happened. So they basically had to, they're overextended and they had to focus on their very core mission for their survival. So that was, an unfortunate, from our perspective, it was unfortunate, but we're, if anybody's ever met Brenda Hale, she does not fail. So we're not going to let that hold us back or stop us. So we're working through that problem, and we're going to find a solution to it. So that's where we're at. And we love to have a broad partnership for our gun buyback, getting the word out and everything else. So.
Catherine, thank you for sharing that. One of the ways we can help each other, and Marshall alluded to this earlier from the standpoint of fraternity, is nonprofits can serve as fiscal agents. So in other words, you can receive the funding and you can distribute the funding, and the memorandum of understanding with the city would be with that nonprofit as a fiscal agent, and that can be your specific role. And then other partners, like Catherine's coordination of Groceries Not Guns and NAACP, they carry forward other aspects of it. So that's another way to think about partnering with each other and just stating what your need is. So now you all know that Groceries Not Guns needs a new fiscal agent, nonprofit, to help make that happen. So thank you for letting us know that. Donna Sweetenberg.
Hello, I'm sorry I'm not on the screen, but I had to run back out real quick. I forgot my dog, so I had to run back out to pick him up. But so hello everyone, I'm Donna, and some people know me as Donna Robinson, but I'm Donna Sweetenberg, and I'm with CAFE, which is Cultural Arts for Excellence, middle school after school program. Our program has been typically focused on the arts and using the arts to enhance academics, as well as, of course, expose the youth to different areas and different types of arts that they normally wouldn't have the opportunity to explore. We also have, besides our after school program, we also offer a summer camp. Right now we're still using the arts, of course, but we've also kind of expanded our focus. And with all the violence and different things going on in the community, we're looking at more of critical thinking, conflict resolution, teaching the kids how to voice themselves, speak, have healthy conversations, as well as moving into now health and nutrition with our kids, which we know that's going to make a healthier kid, healthier mind, a more confident child, a child who actually loves themselves, with our goal being to create a whole child. And so with that focus, we're also working with the parents, and we're offering parenting classes as well. We're doing some classes where the parents can do it with the children, with the teens, as well as on their own. We're excited about working with anyone who can help us expand any of these programs. The programs are going really good. We used the grant last year for the summer camp, and it was awesome. It really did expand our programs, and the kids did really great. And we're just excited about, partnering again this year we partnered maybe with 3 different organizations last year during the summer, and some we're still working with. But we are open and ready to work with anyone who wants to work with us. We're a great organization. Lene, I'll be calling you. I've worked with Lene before, and so I know she has that wonderful entrepreneur skill set. So I want to work with her and work with anyone else that wants to work with us. But that's about it, Joe. Thank you. You're muted, Joe.
Yeah, that's my story, sticking to it. Thank you, Donna. We really appreciate what you're doing. And for those of you who don't know, Cafe Arts has a location on right at that Cove Road in Lafayette, right there. And then also at Villa Heights Center.
Yes.
All right, Jeffrey, I'm thinking this is Jeffrey Powell. Am I right?
Yeah.
Welcome,
Yes.
Jeffrey.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm just here on behalf of the administration and all the directorates to add any support from how we can assist anyone on the program and where we can support you and how we can support you. So I'm here listening, and we'll be your contact as another source to access the departments, facilities, buildings, programs, directorates, anything you need from the city side. I'll be here for you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And we really appreciate Jeffrey was instrumental in saying, look, I'm a department director. What can we do in our, in terms of our departments in the city to help support this work? And Jeffrey was really instrumental in taking the lead on that. And so we're grateful for that. Next is Leslie Clark.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I'm the Director for Family Health Strategies with United Way, Roanoke Valley, and I work with Ryan. As he said, he's looking for partners on the teen pregnancy prevention curriculum that has that dating violence component to it. Our United Way Family Health Strategies programs address the social determinants of health and initiatives that help to move families towards self-sufficiency. So we are just looking for kind of out-of-the-box partners on this venture.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for being here tonight.
Of course.
Next is Marianne Gilmer.
Hi, I hope you can hear me. I'm in my car, so I'm not going to come off of video right now. But I represent Goodman Industries in the Valleys, and it's great to hear just the wealth of resources that are here on this call and the great work that everybody is doing. Out of the box, I will say we are not applying for a mini grant, so I'm really here just in a listening mode. I know we've partnered with a lot of you all, especially through Youth HQ, but just listening to all the resources and how we can support some of the great work that's being done by the partners on the phone and on the call this evening. I think most of you all know we do operate Youth HQ, providing recreation, life skills, academic skills, career exploration, and many other things in partnership with many of you who help us out there to middle and high school youth. And so we're excited to continue that program and move into our summer programming, where we also offer a science camp, and we also will be providing summer employment program And that summer employment program operates for youth ages 14 to 21. So more opportunities this year for 14 and 15-year-olds. So I'll just put that out there. And also really super interested in how we transition summer employment into year-round employment and services. And so working some with Virginia Career Works on that, but really interested in how we support the youth in summer employment through the rest of the year. And then of course, we also provide a wide range of services, including transition to employment for youth with disabilities. So just really excited to listen to all of you all this evening and just learn about the wealth of resources and appreciate the opportunity to be here. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Next up is Jordan Harmon.
All right, how's everybody doing? I'm Jordan Harmon. I'm the education coordinator at the Jefferson Center. And one of the main things that we do there is the music lab. And it's a full studio, a full professional studio that is there for students to come and learn about how to produce. And we have classes 3 nights out of the week. We've got a production class where they learn how to operate all the things in the studio. We've got a songwriting class. And then with Brian Hancock, we have a bars and beats class where they learn about how to produce beats and how to write better lyrics. And one of the main things is just making sure everybody in the community knows that we're here for the students. So, just want to be visible to everybody. And if you know any students that that's a good fit for, making sure they know that they have a space to come and create and be around like-minded students. And that's for students that are 12 to 19 for the most part. And then, and one of the biggest things through this that I'm hoping is just to make sure that we are as accessible as we possibly can, that transportation is something we can't provide, and just make sure that students can get to our facility and take advantage of the resources that are there. And I'm always bringing in different artists, and our relationship with the Jefferson Center is unique because we're at the Jefferson Center. So students get access to the artists that come through. So, whether it's going to an open sound check with Wynton Marsalis and getting to see that, or like last year we had 808 Ray come back and lead a production event for a whole week with kids, and they got to work with him. So, it's a little bit of everything, and they get to be around everything, get exposed to it. And so I just find a lot of times people, despite how much I'm out there pounding the pavement and talking about it, there's still people that have no idea that we're there. So I just want to make sure everybody knows this opportunity is there for our students.
Thank you, Jordan.
Absolutely.
Lori Baker Lloyd.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Lori Baker Lloyd. I'm the Chief Advancement Officer, so you get another person from Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. My colleague Mary Ann just told you about our programs. I'm really here to listen and hear who's doing what, and to also offer support at the strategic organizational level. As some of you may know, we recently have shopped or socialized or shared our strategic plan, Inspire 2026. And in sharing that plan, we've made it clear that our vision is to eliminate poverty. And I know that is a big, hairy, audacious goal, as Jim Collins mentioned, but that is our goal. And we also know that there is a distinct correlation between poverty and inequality and gun violence. And so we are here to really tackle all aspects of poverty, this being one. So again, just here to listen, to see who's doing what, and to follow up and make those connections and collaborate and convene as necessary, and just really move the needle as we approach our vision. And like I said, on all facets. Mary Ann will probably be, or Mary Ann and members of her team will be the key contacts for Goodwill, but we are also looking at this in a very strategic way.
Thank you,
I should
Lori.
also add that I have a vested interest because I am from Northwest Roanoke, where a lot of the activity takes place. So I think I'm kind of representing my mom and my neighborhood as well.
Thank you,
Thank
Lori.
you.
Heather Miller.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heather Millar, and I am not running, but managing and overseeing the new Lift Center. It is a health and wellness collaborative partnership between Carilion Children's, Delta Dental, Freedom First, and Roanoke City Public Schools. The Lift Center is a pediatric clinic. It's a school-based health center at Fallon Park Elementary School in Southeast Roanoke. And my job, the clinic at the center just opened its doors for the very first day on Monday. This has been a project in the making for many years, so we're really excited. And now is the time where I'm beginning to develop programs to serve the families of students at Fallon Park Elementary School. We did a needs assessment last month and in January and February, and it was determined that gun violence prevention is a big priority for families at that school. And so when I saw this opportunity pop up, I didn't want to miss it, because I feel like we could be a great partner for someone. The groceries versus guns person, if you want to reach out to me, I know we can be a fiscal agent and put together a program that might be really great for families there. Another big need is for fresh and healthy food. So we could maybe develop a really cool program, but we're open to all kinds of ways to work with people who are already doing some of this great work and either need another place to do it, or like there's not enough work out there, but a way to partner so that we might be able to benefit the families at Fallon Park Elementary.
Thank you, Heather. It's great to have you here tonight. And I'm excited to hear that the clinic is open. That's fantastic.
Yes, you're going to get an invitation to the grand opening by the end of the week.
All right. Jordan Bell, welcome, Jordan.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Had a long day, I'm sure, like everyone else, just getting off work and getting home. But I'm mainly just coming on here to see what everyone in the city is doing, and see where I can help out and talk about my organization, Gainsborough Revisited, which tries to heal local communities, specifically Northwest, through talking about the history of this community, urban renewal, and doing some educational programs as well. We are looking to get into some schools now, but we do educational programs, walking tours, and just talking about the history of the communities that gun violence impacts. But just mainly here to see how I can assist with other organizations and see how my organization can maybe partner with some other organizations and figure out the problem we have in our city with gun violence.
Thank you, Jordan. And I think that's everybody that I see on the screen. I just want to thank you all. I think the value of sharing, introducing ourselves and sharing what we're doing has already yielded some benefit here tonight. We're already making some connections on how we can work with and support each other. And covering that intersection of prevention, intervention, and response. So I want to thank you for that. There were a lot of themes that I heard tonight, which are important to recall, because when we think about these strategies, we want to think about not only what is already happening, but creating space for new things to happen, and then identifying what, if any, barriers there may be for the success of these programs. So, for example, Jordan, when he was talking about the music lab and the incredible resource that's there, he said, we've got this resource, but we can't provide transportation. And I will tell you all, and most of you know this, in every assessment that's done in this city, the top theme is always transportation. And so as a community, we've got to think really creatively about how to address that reality. Sometimes it's taking a program to where people are so that they literally can just walk across the street or take their bike down the street to get to where they need to be, whether it's job training or a mentoring program or an after-school program. I'll give you an example. I had a year ago when I was talking with one of the staff for the city's Rotec program, she was telling me that they had 60 businesses that wanted to provide internships for the students, and 45 students wanted to take advantage of these internships. And for reasons that are very real for these students, none of them had transportation to these jobs. Huge barrier. And so we began to brainstorm, well, how can we address that? You know, some industries, some businesses have created van pools, and you know, you can get to some places on Valley Metro, and Valley Metro would love nothing more than to be able to extend. We have service in Benton, we have service in Salem, would love nothing more than to extend into other localities, but the localities have to want that. And so that's somewhat of a challenge right now. And then we have to consider the age of the youth. And so the Roanoke City Schools, I think, have recognized the importance of this Rotec program, not only from the business internship, but also from adding a second campus. So for your programs, we want to think about how we can address a barrier like that. And I've often said to faith communities, we have a lot of faith communities here that have buses and vans. And one of the ideas we actually talked about was getting a grant where we could actually pay people to drive vehicles and then set up routes to like pick up. So this van would be responsible for transporting this number of people to this location. Because coordinating volunteers in driving is very challenging and very difficult. And with the waivers you need and just all of those basic things to cover liability, it's easier sometimes to pay a driver who has gone through the due diligence to then set up a schedule, because they're committed to following that schedule and providing that service. So I think in some of these things, we have to think outside the box, but also make sure we're covering all of our bases in terms of liability. Some other things that I heard tonight, a lot about entrepreneurship. One of the big things we heard in the assessment was youth wanting access to employment. And I think Marianne raised a really good point, and that is, this shouldn't just be about summer employment. This should be about year-round employment, and making sure that we have opportunities for youth and young adults for access to year-round employment, and making sure that transportation is not a barrier. For some young adults, even teens, when we talk about the teen pregnancy issue, childcare is oftentimes another barrier. So keeping those things in mind. And we heard just a good cross-section tonight of prevention, intervention, interruption, and response. And so what I'd like to spend a little bit of time, and I'm not going to keep you all terribly long tonight. It's 7:55, but there are a couple of things I'd like to do. And the next thing I'd like to do is just open the conversation up for a few minutes based on what you've heard tonight. Are there some ideas that emerged for you as you were thinking about not only collaboration and partnership, but maybe some ideas that are very strategic in nature that could help address some of the very things we're trying to do to reduce violence in the community.
One thing that I had talked about a little bit with some folks was actually graffiti art, maybe not like permanent graffiti art, but the learning of graffiti art. And I think that there was recently a program in Roanoke City that did this. Am I silly? Or I think it was Macklin Mosley may have been running this. I don't know that much about it. But it was also something, I just happened to see it online, and it was also something that I had been talking about a lot. And wildly, my sister-in-law, who works for IBM, had done graffiti art as like a corporate retreat activity where people learned how to do it. And I was just thinking about kids being able to put out positive messages and have a fun art experience. That this is something that's really, I think, might be, it's something that maybe it's not a permanent installation, but just learning it and spreading messages and having an activity might be a fun outdoor thing that maybe some of the collaborative arts projects could do. And then also it might be even advertising for maybe some of the other activities that we're doing. Like if we're advertising, hey, did you know that there is, this activity, this great music lab activity, or did you know that there's Groceries Not Guns, maybe it's not the full info, but it's just kind of catching people's eye as another kind of alternate form of advertising. That might be a fun collaboration. It was something I was also talking about with Polly Branch, so.
That's great, Catherine. And I think I saw the same post. We Are Art, that kind of initiative with the Roanoke Arts Commission that did the video release last year that was wildly successful. And then there was this kind of graffiti art concept on over the weekend, I think, actually, that just was done in a very short period of time. And it looked like it was on a rooftop. I wanted to ask Macklin where it was because I couldn't tell. But, and I will say that I think there's actually in the Roanoke Arts Commission, the Year of the Artist initiative, I think there's a grant as part of the work they're doing that's arts related, but with the focus on gun violence prevention. So that's another good connection to make. What other ideas emerged for you all tonight that you think would be beneficial in terms of some focus?
So Joe, I think Lori hit it on the head there too. I think a lot of this needs to also focus on the parents and adults. I know that we are focusing on the youth and services for them, but I think as a whole, especially what we're seeing with our programs that we run in the housing authority, you've got to make an impact as well with the parents, because without that buy-in from them, it's just that much harder to get the buy-in from the youth. So I think we really need to make sure that we're really making a focus on the whole family as opposed to just the youth. Just my thoughts on that.
I think that's a really important observation. And I know some of the mini grants last year really focused on that kind of holistic approach, because parents are going through stuff too. And they may not always have the bandwidth, if you will, to just cover all the bases in terms of prevention and intervention. And they sometimes need support. One of the things we've become really aware of this year, and this is on the response end, is how many families are just, and parents are just stressed, are stretched to their limits of what they can take in, what they can handle. Having access to mental health support, trauma-informed care support. And we have some amazing mental health care practitioners in our community. And all of our mental health providers would say we have amazing practitioners and we don't have enough of them. So, it's kind of a mixed bag because we need more, and we need more that when people see the mental health therapist, they can see themselves in that therapist. So they, and that, we've had people like Deneen Evans and Daniel Brooks and Breon Fraction kind of helping take away some of that stigma related to mental health care in the African-American community. And we need more of that just for all communities and all people, but we've got to make it accessible. Insurance or lack of insurance shouldn't be a barrier to getting mental health care support. And so we've got to figure out how we can do some of that because it's so critical. What other ideas?
This is Anna. Can I ask a quick follow-up question?
Uh-huh.
So this might be, I don't know, maybe this is a stupid question, but this is where I'm at. So I hear trauma-informed care a lot. I've heard the phrase a lot. And I have to admit that I really don't know what that entails. So I guess I'm looking for a little bit more. I mean, I can Google it, but there's like a million things, right? So I'm curious, one, for kind of a definition of what exactly that entails. And two, I'm curious who we would describe as, like, do we have local experts or trainers in the community related to that? So like, for example, what we're talking about Rescue Mission is, do we want to have more trauma-informed care on our staff, right? Yes, probably, but who valid for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And let me start by saying I'm going to call on Jamie in a minute to give you a definition. But or, there are others here too. I'm picking on Jamie. But so Roanoke created about 3 years ago a trauma-informed care network. And there are multiple partners in the city, including Roanoke City Public Schools, who are part of this network. And Decca Knight is actually the TICN, Trauma Informed Care Network coordinator. And that office is housed with Children's Trust. So she's a good person to know to reach out to. She's also an LPC, licensed professional counselor. She is trained in trauma-informed care and counseling. She's also part of the RESET team and the commission. But there are people who are trained in this work. Last year, we offered two sessions on trauma basics in the community, one at Goodwill Youth HQ and one at Belmont Library. And it's our intention to continue to offer those, but we want to make sure we're doing that at times and in ways that are accessible for the people who need it and who want to access it. So families, providers, that sort of thing. Jamie or anybody else that, can you just give kind of a quick synopsis of what trauma-informed care is?
So for the sake of time, I'm going to be super brief with this, Anna, but the whole concept of trauma-informed care can sort of be succinctly summarized in, instead of looking at another person and thinking what's wrong with you, it's looking at that person and asking what happened to you. And so it is evaluating someone through the lens of the impact that trauma may have had on their life. And it really starts at the ground level of a basic assumption that all of us have experienced some form of trauma in our life, and that that our behaviors and responses and world lens and all of that are rooted sort of in the impact that that trauma may have had on us. And so it really is really about building compassion and empathy for folks, I think, at the heart of it. And that, again, is a very super simplified way of just kind of introducing the concept.
Okay, thank you.
I second what Joe said, that Decca Knight is probably the leading person in our community around training for trauma-informed care, and the Trauma-Informed Communities Network is really valuable work around creating agencies and service providers and community members who are operating from the same lens. So she would be the person that I would encourage you to reach out to, and would highly encourage you to figure out a way to partner, any of you guys that have not done so, in participating or providing the trauma basics training to your staff, your families, your friends. It's pretty invaluable and influences the work that we do every day.
Thank you, Jamie. That was a great explanation. And I will say that the Roanoke City Public Schools have looked at ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and incorporated that into some of this trauma-informed care, identifying, for many children and even parents now of children, they've gone through traumatic experiences. And if the ACEs are like, Jamie, is it 10? Are there 10 ACEs that have been identified?
I think so, Joe.
Yeah, but then, some people, when they look at the ACEs, go, well, I've had one of those experiences, but then you have a lot of people who've had 8 or 9 of those experiences. And so it really affects how they live and move in the world, and what are protective factors that they need. What are thriving factors that they need, and how can those best be addressed? So
ACEs actually, it's pretty interesting. ACEs started, the learning about adverse childhood experiences as a concept started when a clinician of some degree was working with a group of women around the issue of weight loss, and came to find that women who either lost and regained weight in his groups had one thing in common, and that was childhood sexual trauma. And so he started trying to figure out what else might be influenced, and it started this whole study. And they've determined that adverse childhood experiences can impact your physical health throughout your lifetime. So when we talk about indicators of health and all of those things, it really is all tied together through that experience of trauma. So it's an underlying theme and sort of thread in a lot of the work that we do.
Great. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you all too much longer.
Can I say something, Joe?
Yeah, Sean, go ahead.
Thank you. I want to say that, we have a serious problem here in Roanoke, and we're not gonna take away from it by no means. Up here in Northwest, all of you have heard about the escalated gun violence here in Northwest. This community right here is traumatized, severely traumatized. So the thing that I see that right now, we got 19 people on here. I think when they put the video up for the ones who wanted the grants, I think I saw like 48. But with this 19 that's up here right now, if all of us truly came together, truly just came together, absent of the money and everything, just came together, this 19 people right here, we could get in our community and change everything. But we need to come together. Everything that everybody is talking about, come together. The parenting, the people that work with the kids, us that work with the adults, the conflict resolution. All of us need to go through conflict resolution training. All of us. We need to participate in that. But we need to come together on one accord, regardless of what all the different aspects that we do. Please, please come together. That's all I ask.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sean. We each have unique perspectives and unique experiences and skills and programs that we bring, but it's going to take all of us working together to do this. And that collective energy is going to make a really profound difference. And I appreciate you saying what you did, Sean, about the trauma, because one of the things that we need to be aware of when we look at just the data from last year, 67 incidents of gun violence that either resulted in aggravated assault or homicide. And 47 of those incidents were in Northwest. 47. I mean, that's not new. I mean, this is over years. And if you think about even, like I mentioned, parents of youth today, if you look back over time, you can discover that parents who went through trauma and never had the opportunity to heal through that are kind of reliving some of that now in unintended ways. So it's like residual trauma. And that's why this work is so critical, and why I think what we can do in terms of healing alongside these prevention efforts it's really got to go hand in hand, because sometimes if the healing isn't addressed, it comes out in anger, in violence, in conflict that leads to more violence. And if we have meaningful and real healing opportunities, that can help break some of that cycle, but it's got to work hand in hand. Well, this has been recorded tonight, so we'll post this. I'm going to capture everything that was in the chat box. I just want to share a reminder with you all that if you have programming that I captured a lot of it in my notes tonight, and I will add that into the spreadsheet. And I'm going to figure out how to make that spreadsheet so anybody can add stuff to it. And if any of you are like whizzes at Google Sheets or know how to share an Excel sheet that people can actually add in on, that would be great, because I'm not real savvy on that sort of thing. So I appreciate you all tonight so much. And also let me know, we've got the grant cycle is open through March 31st. And if it would be helpful to you all, I would be glad maybe in 2 weeks to just offer this opportunity again and kind of check in with everybody and see where you are in this process. And if you have any questions, would that be helpful to everybody?
Joe, do you think we can like summarize maybe, I don't know, through an email or something, like the or print getting the information from the chat? Who are the nonprofits who are willing to be fiscal agents, and who are the folks to sort of, I don't know, our own version of a matchmaker thing going on here,
right?
Or who we can connect.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I anticipate Family Service will write a grant, but I would love to have conversations with anyone that feels like it's a good fit. Our ask is probably going to be around developing some intervention programming for older adolescents. So if there's anything that feels like a good partnership opportunity for you all, we are happy to sort of wrap you into our ask and service to fiscal agents. So just wanted to,
yeah,
I think figuring out how we can connect.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we can do that, and I'll try and pull some of that together based on what I heard tonight, and share that out with everybody. Well, thank you all again for your time tonight. And I didn't hear would you all be, in addition to the summary that I send out, would you all find another just kind of informal conversation like this in a couple weeks helpful as a check-in? I'm seeing a few nods, so I'll do it for the 3 or 4 of you who might show up.
Keep it going, Joe. Make it mandatory. Keep it going.
All right, you got it. 2 weeks. Watch for the information, okay? All right, bless you all. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.